Hi, CEO of Cineplex. This is Allan and Eric, and this is our proposal on ways to improve Cineplex profits through methods of dynamic pricing, which is and also a subscription-based movie pass or the implementation of a Cineplex streaming service. We'll go over the pros and cons of each and which one, and finally make a final conclusion on which is the best to proceed with for maximizing profits. And so on to the first strategy, which is dynamic pricing. We decided to conduct a survey based on the Cineplex user base that went across cineplex.com on their thoughts on how to improve the general experience of Cineplex. And so out of the people who answered, 64% requested that the pricing was way too high and that it was way too expensive, especially with the new COVID variant. Nobody knows how long that the COVID pandemic will go on and when they will get their job back. And so we have a very good a pro of this type of survey is that we have an honest opinion of what the user thinks. However, a con one must think about is that is a little bit of a bias towards pricing being overpriced, and that nobody complains about prices being too cheap, or rarely that happens. And so but although this can be explained by the bias caused by Cineplex users, as the survey was specifically for Cineplex.com users, as because those are the users that are more likely go to the cinemas, that there's a bias there, as the Cineplex movie tickets makes up of a higher consumer price index number compared to average user base of the normal people who would just on average go to Cineplex maybe once a month or once a year. And so this can be explained by the graph here, which is a micro graph on how the Cineplex operates with the demand and supply curves. And so you can see that the macro equilibrium before COVID is here, which at the top. However, with COVID and decreased demand because less disposable income, that shifts the demand lower, which then supposedly should have the price lower and the quantity lower. However, Cineplex decided to keep the prices high, still keeping it at P1, which as a result, the prices didn't fall and the quantity didn't lower as where it should be. And as a result, created a welfare loss shown by the blue triangle over here, which that means that neither the producer or consumer can gain the surplus, which is bad for both sides overall. And so, in summary, with the strategy of dynamic pricing, if we are able to lower the pricing down to the point from the initial market equilibrium to the one that it's supposed to be, then that's able to, although it might lower prices for the tickets, it will also increase quantity traded, which will increase our total sales per year. And now on to Eric for the second strategy of subscription movie pass.
So, for our second strategy, as Alan has mentioned, we use the subscription movie pass as a viable option. Based on customer observations and focus groups, we believe that a subscription movie pass would pave the way to Cineplex reasserting itself as the market leader in the industry of film entertainment. Focus groups have said that they would go to the cinema 20% more each month if they had a subscription movie pass compared to a normal ticket. And through customer observations, we found that overall, a pass would often incentivize customers to not only go to the cinema but continue going, as they felt that they needed to make the most out of their money, which in this case was the Cineplex subscription pass. The benefits of these data collection methods are that we are able to better understand the customer's decision making process, as well as clarify our own plans before public release. In this way, we are able to learn that the subscription movie pass was way more affordable in the eyes of the customer than a single ticket, although its price was more than double. The weaknesses, however, of these observations are that there's a general decline of perception towards cinemas in general, and this will deter customers from even providing such investments in the first place. So, by using a subscription movie pass, we are adhering to the customers and developing our customer understanding to improve our brand image. We believe that brand image is very important for Cineplex, and we'll represent this through this piece of paper right here, which is meant to represent the brand image. It is white right now, and it's completely crumpled. There's no crinkles on it. However, if we were to crumple it into a ball, no matter how hard we try to restrain it out into the original rectangle, it will never become the same, and there will always be wrinkles and crumples in it. We believe that this perfectly represents customer brand image, as once we make a mistake or are negatively perceived in the eyes of the customer, we will never be able to retain our brand image to the same degree that we had before that mistake. So, taking this into mind, we want to make sure that the customers know that we as Cineplex put them first, and it's customers before profits for our company. Now, on to the third strategy with Alan.
And last but not least is our way of introducing a streaming service towards the consumers. And so we recommend to break into the market of streaming services. And this is because with the COVID pandemic and social distancing restrictions, many people have been forced to or opt to work online or at the comfort of their homes. And so consumer wants and needs have directly changed into websites or applications that are more supported online because of the difficulty to go to physical locations. And so, with the implementation of Cineplex streaming services, our consumers that are leaving our physical locations will now opt to online, and in which we'll retain our profits. However, it's understandably difficult to get a foot into the market, especially with the amount of competition. For example, being Netflix or Disney Plus. However, even a slight foot or even a little bit into that market will prove to be extremely beneficial. As with we did some market statistical research on the people on how they spent their time throughout the pandemic based on the general population of different major cities, and we realized that the streaming services has increased 200% since the start of the pandemic and is still rising just because of the demand and need of a streaming of a place to watch movies. And so, adding a new product to the market mix is understandably very difficult. And to deal with that, one must have a very good product management. That's defined as an organizational function within a company dealing with new product development, business justification, planning, forecasting, pricing, etc. And so, if we do add a streaming service, it's extremely important to have a good product management on in which one can decide how we're going to implement different type of decisions and way to proceed the Cineplex company forward. Specifically, we're going to have it's optimal to have a promotional marketing campaign to increase awareness of our new product, as most people probably will not be aware if we just introduce it right off the bat, as people already have a good in comparison to, for example, direct marketing, which will be problematic because still not a lot of people will know about our new product. And so the last point is that product management should look to secure copyright laws and to make sure that it doesn't infringe on any copyright laws.
Now, on to the conclusion. So, based on our research, we believe that the third strategy, or the streaming service, is the best option for Cineplex. Because of COVID, customer perspectives of the entertainment industry have changed in a generally declining perspective. And as a whole, in today's world, streaming services are much more favorable, as they not only provide a safer and more comfortable experience, they also allow you to view whatever movies you want, anytime you want, and wherever you want. The biggest factor, however, for Cineplex and for us behind this decision is that the streaming service industry or market has increased by over 200% since the pandemic has started, and is still growing to this day, despite COVID practically being over and cinemas around the country opening up again. Uh, we wanted to also choose a streaming service because they it not only provided the customers with the safer and more alternative a way to watch movies, but it also allowed us to retain our profits, as and at the same time tap into a new market, which, as I said before, has grown exponentially over the duration of the COVID lockdown. So, we would like to end our presentation by saying thank you to you for listening to our proposal, and we hope that you choose our option of the streaming service to utilize in the upcoming plans for Cineplex. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed.